Deusvolt, my fellow gamers. Here I'm coming at you with a bit of an update for my Dragon of the Undeadness. And what you have to do with bigger models like this is you have to think you're in a rank and file game, right? So you got this big Gribbly. Show it here. And I have some skeletons that need to be cleaned. So they're gonna charge in, and yeah, just go into base contact might be a little difficult. Just to showcase, there's a spear guy right there. Let me see. Let's get one that'll actually hit his chin. So it won't work, and he's just, the bases that he will have is only 3 millimeters thick, tall. So he's going to be very, very short. Another case in point. Here's a monstrous infantry guy, and he is not happening. Like, he's going to hit. He's not going to be able to rank and file. Same with Yon Cavalry, which is more or less the case. He is, going to hit, okay? So what you have to do with models that have bits overhanging their base is you have to put them up. So here, what I did is I stuck 4 layers of corkboard, and it's just this 1/4 inch thick corkboard. You buy it in big old slabs at hobby shops and stuff. Everybody uses this crud for basing. I despise that tactic. I don't like it. What this is this is a base. This is not the final product. Regardless, so I needed mass. Okay, I needed mass, so I used cork because I had it. All right, and I've got this weird footprint here where his tail is flat and he's got this little section cut out. So I'm doing a bit of a decorative type base where I'm having a cut here. I need to cut the rest out down here to make it kind of cool and craggy looking. But I brought him up quite substantially. So now here comes homeboy on a horse. Yeah, I'll be able to rank up, dude. Right there, he's going to be able to rank up. You're still going to have problems if you're going to have a guy with a standard or anything goofy like that, which is one of the reasons why I don't really do multi-basing, because multi-basing, your guys are stuck there and you really can't move things around. So here I got my Lycanus, and he's going to be able to rank up, kind of. His forehead still hits Yon's chest, but we all know where he's at. For the most part, he's touching. So anyway, yeah, what I did is I bulked it up. What I'm going to do, what I have been doing, is I'm making confetti. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a more robust knife than a hobby knife, a little X-Acto, and I'm taking these straight edges here and I'm cutting an angle to them. And what that's going to do is it's breaking apart the cork, making it look more craggedy and rockety and less manufactured. So, and a lot of people that would do corkboard bases and stuff would leave it at this. That's garbage. You're gonna see the strata here. You're gonna see those lines. That's nonsense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of my favorite modeling products. I've pimped it several times before. I'm going to do it again. Boom, foam putty. Okay, this stuff is awesome. Fills in cracks, sculpt and carve, sand smooth. This stuff is amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread it all around the sides and stuff and make it kind of look just like a mound. It's going to be less realistic of a mount because it needs to be up high to hold his giant, this surface area here. Now I will carve a bit of a craggy bit in here and maybe like put some stones and stuff inside and when I flock everything, it's going to look pretty righteous, but the inside here will be more rocky, like something gouged out a bit of the hill. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm shaping it to give it a bit of shape. All these little slits and stuff will be filled up with the foam putty to cover up this texture. You know, I'm 100% against using cork in its raw form as a basing material. I think it's poop. I think really why I think it's poop is that it was overused. I would fight guys with their entire army on cork. It's like, bro, I don't mind if you do like a liter or something on cork, but I mean, not everybody's playing hopscotch on freaking pieces of rock. When the experienced Eris model came out for Privateer Press, the little elf babe, the assassin type. Oh man, dude, got myself. That's what happens when you're looking through a viewfinder and you're doing this stuff. But it's okay. We move on. And now, normally I would hit myself, if you cut yourself, hit yourself with super glue. Boom. Developed World War II as liquid bandages, liquid band-aids. This stuff is excellent. So, but, you know, being a gamer, stuff happens all the time. All the time. And especially if you're trying to film your goofy self doing it. And it's okay if you have like this bit of an undercut here. See how that is? That's perfectly fine. The odder the shape, the less uniform it is, the more natural it would look. You know, you ever look at like PGA tours and stuff and you're like, that grass on that golf course, that's so unnatural. It just wouldn't happen like that. And that's exactly right. It wouldn't. It wouldn't at all. And what I'm doing is I'm leaving the outline of my base legit. This back portion still, I might trim it down some more just so I have the edge of the base in case someone's able to back charge me. But yeah, just so the edge of the base is trim and you can get right up on the model. That's exactly what I'm after. I'm after that nice trim base. But giving my model height so that it can be charged, or it can charge. I think that's more important here. And like I said, it's going to be covered in that foam putty, and I'll put rocks in and stuff, and it's going to look pretty choice. Now, let's talk about this cat here really quick. This sculpt was god-awful terrible. Really, really bad, to be honest. In my initial review, I had a piece of resin that was glopped up in one of these gashes. That took me a little while to fix, but that's really the only thing that I harped on. I think that there was a bit of a mold line that I saw on the inside seam around about here, and I harped on that one a little bit. That's because I didn't look at this model close enough. All throughout here, you'll see this green stuff spattered. That was all holes, air bubble holes that were inside the side of the neck. At the tip of each of these horns, all I did was I cut it and then used X-Acto knife to give it some texture. But yeah, all throughout here were air bubbles, like insane air bubbles. All along, all of that was air bubbles, guys. I'm not kidding you. And around the front of the face, and you got one right there on the tip of the nose. This one really couldn't be helped too much right here, because this is where a freaking I forget what it's called, but a gate. That's it. A gate was sticking right there. That's where this thing was getting its resin from a hole in the mold. And the gate was right on the tip of his daggone nose. Yo, bro, put it on the back side of the head where it's flat, where you can carve away and make it smooth and whatnot. Not on the very tip of the nose. What the freak? But anyway, around the ridges of the eyes in the skull there, air bubbles all over it, man. Oh, I was fit to be tied. Pro tip, now that I've assembled this thing, and I do fully assemble my models and paint them because that's how I roll. I assembled the wings first, and I was thinking that I was going to magnetize the rider. I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to switch this out, the version with the wings, between the White King, I think that's what he is, the White King, or no, Revenant King, my fault, the Revenant King and the Librarian Vampire. I was going to switch those two out, magnetized. I was going to be very clever and whatnot. Well, after I glued the wings in, I just tried to dry fit her, thinking, you know, it's okay, they've thought about this. The Revenant King on the worm has got to have the exact same profile in the saddle as the Librarian, because it's the same model, it's just recycled. Like, she is just wings and her. That's the only thing that's different. And it didn't work out that way. It was an extremely tight fit for her. I had to carve and, you know, push some things harder than what I wanted to. Resin, if you start pushing things, they tend to snap. So yeah, what I did is I just went ahead and I fixed her on there, you know, glued her weapon in place and all that good stuff after I did my green stuff work that needed to happen with this model. And so she's a permanent fixture now. What I could do is just maybe like hang a name tag or something that says Revenant King, or, you know, sculpt a little crown, put it over her bun. That would ruin the look of the Librarian, though. So, but anyway, I said it once before, and I will definitely say it again. If you guys get into a game system and they have resins, try to get the resins early on. There was another YouTuber who was unboxing some halflings. It was the smaller army deal for the halflings, and in that he got one of the big lawnmower guys, the orcs or ogres or whatnot, pushing a giant lawnmower. And it's a really cool model, but he also elucidated, get early castings if you can. They are far superior. Like those zombie trolls that I got, those things were minty fresh, gorgeous. All the detail was included. I'm in love with those models. Now, I would much rather have metal, just because I love metal. I love it so much. But resin is good for detail as long as you get good resin. I don't like having to carve detail back into miniatures, and I've had to do this with this guy. And resculpt detail, which is no fun, no bueno. But it is what it is. You would expect for, you know, this one was $50. They're usually more expensive than that, but I got a decent deal. So you know, you'd expect better than the air bubble nonsense. I guess maybe the lighting isn't that good in the warehouse, so whenever they're pulling stuff out, they don't see. I mean, this thing was peppered. It looked like it had a miniature shotgun. It just, take that, dude. So yeah, just be aware. If, you know, just keep liquid green stuff on hand or some kind of putty or something, because you're gonna have to fill holes. And of course, her weapon here was broken in half right at that fist. I was able to fix it, of course, but it would have been nice if it was in one piece. But yeah, so gripe over about this thing. It will be cool, and it will look much better on a custom base. I mean, it's a centerpiece model anyway, so may as well take the time to make it right. It's kind of a shame that they just give you the flat wood, and, you know, somebody out there has just mounted it right on the flat MDF base, and now they're wishing that they hadn't, because they're charging in and they're not able to get in there. So what they're doing And a lot of people do this in the tournament scene and whatnot, and I'll probably do it anyway. But they're cutting out an extra piece of MDF. So instead of your actual model being in combat, what you're going to do is you're just going to have this plain piece of MDF. You're going to say, okay, I've charged into this Lycanus. And there we go. Just so it all lines up, and it is legal, even Steven, and you can see where all the units are and the placement of this base. Because that, at the end of the day, is the all-important part of this. But if you just use some ingenuity ahead of time, you can avoid all that garbage. So anyway, I think I've ranted enough. On one side note, that is the decent side of the skeletons that weren't painted in the second-hand lot I got off eBay. I just need to clean the mold lines. Let's go grab a model here. Man, he didn't even prime them all the way. Can you see the mold lines? Maybe not, there's too much stuff. But you just have to take, oh, okay, well, you see right up there? Up on top of his head? Yeah, that's a sprue piece there. So these guys, they need some TLC. They need to be cleaned. And it's infinitely harder to clean them when they're assembled. But anyway, so you guys take it easy. Keep thinking of cool stuff to do. Maybe I'll have a tombstone hanging out the side. I do have metal tombstones and stuff still. And I've got like metal guys coming out of the grave. That would be cool. Like I can make this like a chunk of grave dirt. That'd be awesome. Maybe put like a skeletal arm hanging out the side. Like, yeah, that's what's up. Cool things. So, all right, guys, you take it easy, and I'll talk to you later. Carry your laser.